Hey yo guys, welcome back to Two Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going back to 2004 and we're giving you our review of Archetype by Fear Factory. So Archetype is, in my opinion, the last great record that Fear Factory put out. They put out some decent stuff since then, but Archetype was the last, like the pinnacle of their career, the discography. But, you know what, I'm gonna hand the floor to TV Fish, and I'll let you jump into this and tell us your thoughts on this album.
So before I got into this album, I was never really a huge fan of Fear Factory. Not because I didn't like them, but because I just never really gave them a chance. I'm just like, okay, yeah, they're a thing, but I never really looked at them. But then, you know, you asked me about, yo, we should review this. I'm like, okay, I looked at it and it floored me. The first time I heard it, it floored me. This album, where has this album been for so long? Because a lot of the things in this album just kind of play to what I like, and one of the biggest things is the rhythms. You see, it's a hallmark of the band that, you know, you'll hear the drums and the rhythm section, guitar and bass, play the same rhythms. Very in sync. I love that. I'm a Meshuggah fan. You hear that in their music a lot. So that, you know, I heard that, I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And it's just so aggressive, very fast, and very in your face, I find, with some of these rhythms. And it's just constantly pushing. The drummer is incredible. There's a fill he does. What song was it? I think it was on either Cyber Waste or Act of God, where they're just doing like a small bit, and then the drummer does a roll on a few of the drums, and it just feels so strong when he plays it. It's just like, holy shit, what was that? Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know what it is about the drums too, but the snare for some reason in this album really stands out to me. Yeah, it has this perfect pop sound to it, very meaty, and just really sounds cool.
It's really well mixed. Like the bass drum has really got like a thick punch to it. I think punch is a really good word for it, because you can feel every single kick this guy does.
Yeah, and they're precise. This band is precise, super tight as well.
Absolutely. I have to say my favorite song is probably Cyber Waste. It just opens up, you know, super hard and nothing you say matters to us. And my favorite lyric of the whole album is, "You are a virus spreading disease." Every time it comes up in that song, it just feels amazing, and just how hard it goes. Oh, it's so powerful. Another thing I want to mention about this album that I like a lot is the way the track listing goes. That sounds a little ambiguous, but I'm trying to say that the contrast of light and dark songs is really, really good on this album, because you have a bunch of aggressive stuff at the start, then you get to like Drone's Archetype, like the title track, it starts to mellow out a little bit, and then Corporate Cloning is a lot more harder, and then Bite the Hand That Bleeds, Undercurrent. You're going back and forth between quote-unquote chill and not chill, and I feel like some of these songs still have elements of the other element that it's not doing within them, so you're still getting the same taste. You're still getting the hard stuff in the soft songs and vice versa, and it keeps going back and forth between that. And when it gets to Human Shields, that one's a lot more open, and it sets up for the last track of the album, or at least the last original track, Ascension, which is just open space. And that, I'm not even kidding, I fell asleep to that song in a good way.
I agree with you in the sense that there's a lot of duality on this album. You hear a lot of duality because you get, like you said, the first half of the album is like the hard half. The second half is like the soft half. But in all the hard songs, you get a little bit of soft stuff sprinkled in. And in all the soft songs, you get a little hard stuff sprinkled in. So there's constant duality going on. You hear duality in other ways too, like the vocals. You get the harsh vocals and the soft vocals. There's just all these kinds of things that just create an overall balance. But I'm gonna disagree with one thing you said. I don't like the fact that they divided the album so half like that. Like the first half is kind of just in your face, raw aggression, get you pumped up. The second half is a lot more, I think, dependent on lyrics and being meaningful. I think they should have been mixed up a little more. I think the track listing is decent, but I think the title track, Archetype, should have been the last track, because I think, I picture Human Shields is a great track, Ascensions plays after that, and then that's like an almost like a extra long intro leading into Archetype, and then Archetype caps it off at the end, because the outro to Archetype is, that to me should be the end of the album. I love that outro. That's probably my favorite song on the album, the title track. Such an amazing song. And I have fond memories of that song. Like when I saw Fear Factory live for the first time, I have a memory ingrained in my head of that moment where the whole crowd was singing, everybody was sweaty, just jam-packed. It was just one of those magical moments at a concert that you get. Fucking loved it. But that song should have been the last song on the album, I think. Ascension also, at like, what, 7 minutes long?
Yeah, it's kind of long. So if you wanted to do the thing you were talking about, you'd have to definitely
have to cut down Ascension. But Ascension is not bad though. It's like one of those things where when you listen to a whole album and that's the end, it kind of works because it's just kind of like the sigh of relief after getting your ass kicked for 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden you get a bonus track at the end, which is a Nirvana cover, which is pretty cool.
It does sound cool.
But I still would have put Archetype as the last track. So I would have mixed up the tracking order a little bit. It's not bad how they have it, but I just would have mixed it up a little more so it wasn't so divided like that. Like how they have it.
Speaking of mixes, you did mention that the drums sound really good on this album. I want to talk about the bass as well. It is just nasty sounding. And I love when the band cuts down a little bit so you can only hear bass and drums, and it does that a few times and it sounds amazing, and I just wish it would go on for longer. I think bass is a very underrated instrument. Not people give enough love to the bass, and on this album it sounds so nice.
Everything sounds nice. Like the band, like this band's changed members a few times, but this lineup that they have, you have Raymond Herrera on the drums, you got Dino Cesares on guitar, you got obviously Burton C. Bell on vocals. I'm not sure who's on bass on this album, but they're just as a group, they feed off each other so well and they're so tight that you can't not like it. You can't not respect it either. It's just such good music. And every song offers its own kind of message and its own vibe as well. So it's just really well put together, really well written. Lyrically, it's well written as well. The lyrics are very meaningful. If you read the lyrics, you'll get a sense of depth. They're very poetic at the same time. But it's all about stuff like basically how the system has failed us, you know, and that we're all basically just drones. We're all basically slaves to the system, and the system's failing. You know, it's a little bit political, but without being, you know, it's not like Megadeth political, where they're right in your face with the politics. But it's got that element of like, you know, basically like, what are these wars for kind of thing. Like, what the fuck is this is all about?
Yeah, like what's the point?
This is all bullshit. Why are we living like this? Why are we living as corporate slaves? Drones, right? Cyber waste, slave labor. It's what it's all about. So,
exactly.
So, yeah, I really like, I mean, there's nothing really bad. Like, even the softer songs, like Human Shield is a great song. For one of the softer songs, that's freaking amazing. Undercurrent, if I had to pick a least favorite song, it'd probably be Undercurrent, only because I don't like the way he says Undercurrent. For some reason, the way he says it, like it just bugs me the way it comes out of his mouth. But I really like Burton's voice, and he makes up for it in other songs, like in Archetype, when he's singing during the outro, and he's saying "Open your eyes." There's this tonal change during the word "eyes" that I freaking love, and it's just this most subtle little thing. And if you're listening to it, just listen to the word "eyes." His voice is here, then it goes bam. It just drops down halfway through the word. I love that. Freaking love it. And it's those kinds of things, that type of creativity that goes into this music that makes me think this is a record worth reviewing and, you know, worth listening to.
Yeah, well, on that note, I think we should get to ratings, and I'm gonna open it up with saying this album is incredible. I cannot really say anything bad about it. Like, I'm racking my brain. Is there anything bad to say about this album? I can't really think of it. It really gives you everything you need. I feel like anyone that's not into this genre, which is more so new metal maybe, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's hard to put
them into a genre, but I feel like it's accessible.
Yeah.
And for all the stuff that it gives you, this album gets my toe tag. It is just way up there. Blew me out of the water when I first heard it.
Yeah.
So what's your rating?
You know what, I got into Fear Factory when this album was new, back in like 2004, 2005-ish. They were touring this album when I went to see them live for the first time. They were on tour with a few other bands that I liked, and I went to that show, and like I said, I had this moment during that set that just, you know, it got to me, it captivated me. I started listening to all their older stuff, you know, Demanufacture, Obsolete, things like that, and I was like, this band is phenomenal. These guys are amazing. Unfortunately, after that, they put out albums like Transgression, which I thought was a major flunk. and then everything after that I kind of just didn't really give too much time of day to. I should go back and listen to some of it. Like I think Mechanized was one of the most recent ones. I haven't really given that much of a chance, but Archetype is a Pinnacle album. It's an album that, as you said, doesn't have any flaws. There's really nothing really you can say bad about it unless you just don't like it because it's not your taste. But I think any metalhead that respects metal and respects, you know, musicianship and things like that, you're gonna like this album because it's got little bits of everything for everybody. It's got the clean stuff, it's got the hard stuff, it's got the raunchy stuff, it's got all that stuff all packaged into one neat little bundle, and it gets my toe tag as well. It's a 2 toe tag album. It's definitely deserving of that. And yeah, what else do you say about it? It's freaking solid. You guys gotta check it out. If you guys haven't heard this album, if you're not fans of Fear Factory, this is one you gotta start with. Listen to Archetype and let us know in the comments below what you guys think about it. And also let us know if you agree that it's their best album, or do you like another album better, or what? Let us know what you think.
Anyway, that's it. That's all we got here for today. Remember to leave your thoughts below, like this video if you liked, and subscribe for more metal content coming your way.
Yeah.
2 toe tag album, guys. Archetype. Check it out. I'm TV Fish.
And I'm Vile Self.
And we'll see you guys later.
Peace out.